What's good? Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Matthew Shack, live here in Los Angeles. Welcome to Matthew Shack Unfiltered. What's poppin'? First things first, salute to Unfiltered Nation, salute to Unfiltered Fam, salute to the Mod Squad, salute to the Goons. Run the likes up. Keep them likes at 50%. Last but not least, tip your bartender, man. What's poppin'? Everything is cool out here in LA, man. Nice day today. Hope you guys are having a good day, man. Just wanted to come in and chop it up with you guys, man. See what's going on. And definitely I got a couple of things to say because last night's game with the 49ers and the Bears was an absolute thriller, bro. What a good football game, man. And there's a couple of things about that game that really stood out to me, man. So I figured I'd come in here and chop it up with you guys. See what's going on, man. But let's go ahead and get the festivities out of the way. First thing, man, let me know, man. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm clear. You can hear me. Put a 2 in the chat if you can't. Okay, I just want to make sure that all the sound and everything is all good. Hopefully you guys can hear me, man. Please let me know. We're trying to make sure that the sound and everything is up to par. I'm seeing some ones. That's good, man. Okay, man. All right, man. Hey, man, what's going on, dog? Okay. Yeah, I just came back from taking the family out to eat. They're good. Okay. Fed them. I ate. So now it's time for me to talk. Time for me to eat on here. Last night's game, man, between the 49ers and the Bears was an absolute thriller, bro. What a dope ass game. It was so nip and tuck. It was they said it's the first time in NFL history that you had teams tied up at 7, 14, 21, 28 and 35. It's never happened in a game. In a regular season game. I think it said it happened in the playoffs one time. But what an amazing game, guys. I mean, two teams, both of those guys they were both playing. But I wanted to talk about the quarterbacks in question because it seems like right now, at least with a lot of teams that are in the NFL that don't have a viable quarterback, the fan bases are under the impression that the higher the draft pick, the better the quarterback. I mean, it's pretty much what it is, man. You have to be first and last, right? So I wanted to talk about that, man, because last night, went against that. All right. But last night went against that with who was playing and who won and who didn't win. So I definitely wanted to bring that up, bro. It definitely is going to be something to think about. All right. But last night, the 2024 first pick of the NFL draft in Caleb Williams for the Bears, who came from my USC Trojans, fight on, Heisman Trophy winner. Drafted first in the draft. Played against the 2022 last player drafted in that draft, Mr. Irrelevant by the name of Brock Purdy. All right. So you had the first pick of the draft 2 years ago. You had the last pick of the draft 3 years ago. Why did the last pick of the draft win the game over the first pick of the draft? So my question is, how important is draft picks when it comes to quarterbacks? Because right now, my fan base, Raider Nation, a lot of members of Raider Nation are actually cheering against their team to try to secure the first pick of the draft so they can secure who they want, which would be, from what everyone's telling me, Fernando Mendoza, who is what? A Heisman Trophy winner. Sounds similar. Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner, first pick of the draft. Now they're talking. Now you're talking about possibly. Cam Ward also did it too. Okay, he was first pick of the draft, was Heisman Trophy winner. But how important is getting a higher draft pick when it comes to quarterbacks? All right, and based on my analysis, being a high draft pick doesn't guarantee that you're going to be a good quarterback. So all these people say, "Oh, we got to get a quarterback. We got to get a quarterback. We need the first pick to get a quarterback." Brock Purdy just showed you that he was the last person picked. He was the 262nd person picked in the 2022 draft. He was the last possible person that could get drafted. They were at the end, man. They were like, one more person can get in the party, Oh, Brock. Okay, that's it. Everybody else, you close the door. Who was balling last night? The same guy, bro. Obviously, scouting still matters, man. I think it definitely means something to know how to scout players and know how to evaluate talent, because the 49ers, they they got a Super Bowl appearance out of this kid. The kid's only been in the league. What's he going to year 4? Um, they've already had a Super Bowl berth. You know, he's secured a $50 million contract. He is definitely their franchise quarterback, and he balled yesterday. He absolutely balled. Now, with that being said, Caleb Williams balled too. Caleb Williams was just one pass away from pulling that off. All right, and he's in his second year. So you're looking at two ends of the coin. You're looking at a quarterback that was absolutely the first person to ever get picked in the draft, and the last person to get picked in the draft a year prior, actually 2 years prior, I should say. How valuable is it for you to be able to evaluate talent? And I think that evaluating talent is more important than securing a high draft pick, because securing a high draft pick doesn't mean that you're getting a great quarterback. Okay, I mean, we can look at the ones that we all know that didn't pan out. The Jamarcus Russells of the world, the Ryan Leafs of the world. Okay, quarterbacks like that. There's plenty of them. Plenty of first round bust quarterbacks. Okay, then you got the people who, of course, the GOAT Tom Brady. He was a 6th round draft pick. You look at some of these all time greatest players. They weren't even drafted in the first round. Okay, Joe Montana wasn't a 1st round draft pick. All right. Then you could say, well, what about Peyton Manning? He's 1st round draft. What about Eli? Is Eli in the Hall of Fame? Eli's a 1st round pick too. He's the first pick of the draft. Okay, he's a number 1. Okay, what about an Achilles Smith? What about guys like that? C.J. Stroud. Okay, then what about Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers was drafted the last pick of the 1st round. Brett Favre was not picked 1st pick of the draft. Okay, Troy Aikman was picked 1st pick of the draft. But then you can look at somebody else. you can look at another player. Okay, Andrew Luck was picked 1st in the draft. All right. So this is just me going off the top of my head, man. Just using my football prowess just to show you on the top of my head who I can think of. It was the 1st pick of the draft, and what did they do? And then you look at other people. Look at Jordan Love. Jordan Love was a late 1st round draft pick. Look at Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart was a 1st round draft pick, late 1st rounder. Okay, so I think that being able to know how to evaluate a quarterback, I think that that's more important than having a high draft pick. You need to know what you're doing. Also being in the proper system helps. All right. I think it's more important for you to draft a quarterback in your system that could fit your system than it is to draft a quarterback based on height. When it comes to Fernando Mendoza, when it comes to my fan base, everybody that the majority of people that I have paid attention to who keep spewing this kid's name, they've never even seen this kid play. They've never seen him play outside of a couple of highlights on a short on social media. They haven't sat down and watched him play at all. Plus, he has not declared yet. He has not declared for the draft. He can easily not declare and easily go back to college. Okay, he could easily do that. All right, he got 1 more year eligibility. Same with Dante Moore up there in Oregon. He has a year eligibility left. And if they don't want to play for the teams that are up there, then they can just go back to school, bro. There ain't no guarantee you're getting him, man. Did he declare yet? It's like anything else, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could say, hey, man, man, when I see Chloe, man, on Monday, I'm a holler at her, dog. I'm gonna tell her, man, do you want to go out to dinner? And I'm like, yo, dog, isn't she still married, bro? Well, man, I mean, it's still, man. Once I'm gonna ask her though, isn't she still in a relationship though? Like, there's just a lot of people jumping from one side of the Grand Canyon to the other, and they can't even, they can't even jump over a broomstick. Like, dude, you're making this big ass leap. You're making this big ass astronomical leap to think you're getting somebody just because you want them, when you haven't even looked at the circumstances. I mean, Mendoza may not want to play for the Raiders. I ain't heard that kid mention that he wanted to play for the Raiders or the Jets or any of these teams. He could just be like, you know what, man, I'm kind of cool. I'm going back to school. What are you going to do then? Okay? And I can't wait, if that happens, I can't wait to see what the excuses are. Okay? Well, we didn't want him anyway, man. He was overrated or whatever. Knowing how to evaluate talent, especially from the quarterback position, is critical, bro. Knowing your system. Kyle Shanahan knew that Brock Purdy was a system quarterback for him. He knew that. Okay? He knew that, and that's why he picked him last. I mean, everybody passed on Brock Purdy at least 7 times, bro. Minimum. Okay? He's like, okay, I've got everything I need. Let me grab him. Now everybody's kicking themselves in the teeth because Brock Purdy has shown that he's definitely not the 262nd person in the draft. Another quarterback that is doing that right now that a lot of people aren't happy with. They're not happy that they have to eat crow. They're not happy that they have to eat humble pie. And they're not happy that the Diddy oil has been warmed up and it's your turn. Your number has come up. Okay, number 44, that's you. Step on into the bedroom, homie. It's your turn. And that would be Shadur Sanders. When I was on here telling you back then that Shadur Sanders wasn't the 144th best player in the draft and he got railroaded, now guess who is the perennial starter in his rookie year when he should have got cut based on what everyone was telling me. He's trash. He's only in the league because of his pops. He was the 4th string. He's not even going to be on the team. For him to be the absolute starter, who Kevin Stefanski, who hated on him, getting ready to get fired for. Like I said before, all of y'all didn't know how to evaluate talent because you swore on your life he was trash. And you still try to say he is, but he beat everything that you said. He shouldn't have been in the league in the first place. He's Bronny James. His father is the only reason why he's in the league. He's all these things. But guess what? Guess who's the starter of a franchise in the National Football League in his first year, bro, when he was the 4th string quarterback? The same guy who you guys swore on your life that wasn't nothing. Like I said, man, it's more important for you to be able to evaluate talent than for you to get a high draft pick. Because a lot of these casuals, bro, and you got to call them casuals, these casuals, they really think the higher the draft pick, the better the better the player is going to be. But I just told you, Jamarcus Russell was the 1st pick of the draft. Okay, that same draft, Ryan Leaf was the 2nd pick of the draft. Come on, bro, that's 1st and 2nd was trash. 1st and 2nd. Okay, it goes that way. Biggest bust in NFL history, Jamarcus Russell. 1st pick. 2nd biggest bust, Ryan Leaf. Makes sense, doesn't it? 1 and 2, absolute boo-boo. Okay? That's how it works, bro. So all these people who think just because you got a 1st pick and you got a history, that's why I don't understand why a lot of these Raider fans don't get it. You have a history of picking the wrong person. You have a history of having the 1st pick and picking the wrong person, bro. You picked Jamarcus Russell when Megatron was sitting right there. Megatron went to the Lions at 3. You could have had him. But no, you knew what you knew. All right? But Brock Purdy showed last night, hey man, you can have the high draft pick all you want to. Guess who's walking out of the building with one of these? Guess who walked out of Levi's Stadium with one of these? That would be Brock Purdy. His game started off very, very rough. He threw that interception 15 seconds into the few minutes of the game. 15 seconds in, he already had a pick 6. I'm thinking, man, it's going to be a long day for Brock. Nah, Brock just had to settle in. Caleb, man, he's making some amazing throws, man. He was 1 throw away. Okay, he's 1 throw away from winning that game. But who won the game? The guy who was Mr. Irrelevant, not the guy who everyone's wanted to trade draft picks for. So my question is to you guys, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if you think the draft position is more important when getting a quarterback, and put a 2 in the chat if you think that, evaluation and study and scouting is more important. Because like I said before, the greatest quarterback of all time was a 6th round draft pick. Oh, come on, Shaq, man, that's just one guy. Okay. What about Joe Montana? Joe Montana, if he's not 1 in a lot of people's eyes, he's number 2. Where was he drafted at? Late. Okay. Like I said before, bro, you can't keep dodging it. Yeah, I can say, okay, Caleb Williams, 1st round draft pick. He's looking, last year they were saying he was a bust. I was saying he ain't no bust. The game slowed down for him. Now look at him. He's in going into year 3. He's going to be absolute monster. Okay, but Eli Manning was also the first pick of the draft. Remember? Is he in a Hall of Fame? No. He's a 2-time champion, but is he in a Hall of Fame? No. Okay, just because you're the first pick don't mean that you're going to be, be him. Eli was a solid quarterback, but he wasn't no superstar. He's a Manning, but come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Even Jermaine Jackson had a couple of hit albums, bro. You ain't Mike. When it comes to the Manning family, Peyton is Michael Jackson. Okay, Eli is Jermaine. We're gonna see what Arch is gonna be. Okay, all right. And Cooper, his dad is Tito. Let's just keep it a buck. But with all that being said, bro, first pick of the draft, a lot of people are very delusional, thinking that you have a carte blanche to believe that if you draft somebody high, they're gonna be something. No, bro. People bust down Tatiana every day, G. Happens all the time, B. People bust all the time, B. And you know what, man? You don't want to be on the tail end of that, bro. Okay? But Brock Purdy showed you last night, man. Hey, man, you guys can get married to a first pick all you want to, man, because when that ball is snapped on that field and you're on that grass, bro, somebody's making plays and somebody isn't. Brock Purdy made more plays than Caleb. They were neck and neck as far as everything else. Okay? You look at the box score, you look at the touchdowns, you look at the interception ratio, you look at the yardage. But at the end of the game, Brock Purdy was clutch. And Caleb, he skipped the ball, bro. He should have threw it earlier. But he paused it, and he hesitated when he was backing up and he was throwing on his back leg. Come on, dog. He don't have a Josh Allen arm. Okay? I don't even think that Patrick Mahomes' arm is as strong as it used to be able to make that pass, for you to be backing up like that and throw the ball like that and it goes. I think Josh Allen's probably the only person in the league that probably could have put enough zip on that ball to get it there, and there was no guarantee that they were going to catch it because Caleb's receivers were dropping that position. They were dropping passes everywhere. There was a whole bunch of drop passes. Okay? So I just wanted to say that, man. I just wanted to say, man, that I'm very much paying attention to the fact that a first pick of the draft doesn't guarantee you success. Okay, like I said, man, you look at most of the quarterbacks in the NFL that are starters, they weren't first picks. Okay? Joe Burrow was the first pick of the draft. Okay? How's he played this year? Okay? I'm just going through the league, just jumping around. Okay? Sam Darnold wasn't the first pick of the draft. He's a top 10 pick. Okay? Geno Smith, we know he wasn't. Matthew Stafford, if I can remember, I think he might have been first. Okay? You look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins wasn't the first pick of the draft. Tua Tagovailoa wasn't the first pick of the draft. J.J. McCarthy wasn't the first pick of the draft. I'm just going through all the teams, bro. Going through all of them. Okay? Jalen Hurts wasn't the first pick of the draft. So if you look at the majority of the quarterbacks that are in the National Football League that are starters, they weren't first picks. Okay? So, I guess we'll find out, won't we? But I think it's more important for you to be able to evaluate talent and figure things out. Figure out what's best for your system. Okay? Like I said, Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers, they know what kind of quarterback they need for their system. Same with Sean McVay. They know what kind of quarterback they need for their system. All right? And if you have a system quarterback, which is pretty much all the successful quarterbacks are system quarterbacks, you're going to, the powers that be, if they didn't draft that quarterback, they're going to bring in a regime that is going to, build that curriculum around them. All right. You look at Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, man, he's in the perfect system because Harbaugh hasn't really changed much. All you're doing is letting him run what he normally runs. A hybrid West Coast offense. You brought in a coach who played for the team, and he played and coached on the West with the 49ers, so he already has that mentality. Give him a running game with an Omarion Hampton, hand the ball off when you can, try to get the ball downfield to Lab McConkey and all of those guys. Okay, same with Sean McVay. You got Matthew Stafford, you got Puka Nacua running around, you got Devontae Adams. You got a little bit of a running game. The little running game is not as good as it should be, but that's what you do, man. You're playing to the strengths. All right. So that's my thing. My thing is having somebody being able to evaluate talent from the quarterback position is more important than getting the hype machine. Who knows? Mendoza might turn into the next him. The Raiders draft him. Who knows? But the key is Brock Purdy just showed you don't have to have the first pick of the draft to draft somebody. I really don't want the first pick, to be honest, because I know what that means. You put that first pick and you put that on that kid's back. That kid has to be a certain type of kid to be able to function in that kind of environment, bro. He's going to be getting scrutinized. People going to be rooting against him just because he's playing for the Raiders and they want him to not succeed. So these are the kind of things that I thought about last night. But I saw the last pick of the 2022 draft play somebody who beat the first player drafted in the 2024 draft. I just saw it last night, and I hope you saw it too. So let's not get too crazy with it. But at the end of the day, man, it's just a little synopsis of it. Okay? Now let me ask you guys another question. Okay? In the chat, I need for you guys to participate. This is a participatory question to y'all. Put Brock Purdy in the chat if you'd rather have him, or put Caleb Williams if you'd rather have him. I'm very curious to see. All right, who would you rather have if you had a choice between those two quarterbacks as of right now? Who do you take on your team? Not the team, unless you're a Bears fan or a Niner fan. If you had a choice between those two and those are the only choices, who do you pick up? Okay, I'm very curious to know who you guys will pick based on last night's performance. Okay. Be honest, y'all. It ain't no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. It's just a preference answer. Okay. Who would you rather have on your team? You look at your team. You don't have the quarterback that you want, or you have now, and you had a choice between last night's Brock Purdy. This is today. Brock Purdy's available. Caleb Williams is available. Who do you take? I'm very curious to see who you guys say. I'm seeing some Purdys. Okay, keep going, y'all. I know there's more y'all on here, man. What's taking y'all so long? Okay, come on, man. Who would you rather have? Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams. All right, come on, man. Put it down. Start asking you guys. All right, okay. I'm gonna get down there. I want to see some more. I'm gonna go through some of these questions. All right, man. X-Man with the 1999 dono, man. What a great game, XT. Well, great. What's good, Shaq? How about them 49ers? Brock had 5 touchdowns to back-to-back games. 10 touchdowns in 2 games, bro. Absolutely amazing, bro. Brock Purdy's balling, man. I think it's safe to say Brock Purdy's the hottest quarterback in the league right now. I think it's safe to say that. I don't think that's a reach. I think that your boy Josh Allen, him not being able to get it done in the closing seconds against the Eagles last night, kind of put him behind the 8 ball a little bit. Okay, yeah, but salute to that man, X-Man. I mean, he's balling, bro. Brock Purdy is acting a plumb fool out there. Okay. Carlos Haller in the house was going on. Stephen Hinton in the house was going on. Maurice was going on. What's good? What's good, big dog? What's happening? Chilling on a Gurkha. Yeah, man, I'm just out here just chilling and smoking on this, man. I'm gonna go ahead and relax. It was really good last night to just relax and watch the game, dog. Not have to have analysis and talk and do all what I normally do. But I just got to sit back and enjoy a good game, man, for once, bro. It's great. And I plan on doing it tonight. See what the Rams are going to do. So that's why I came in early. Okay. All right, man. Daniel Smith. What happened, Daniel Smith? Daniel Smith, what happened to your Bears? What happened, dog? What happened, big dog? I mean, it was all good about a week ago. All right, Stephen Hinton, 49ers Green Bay Super Bowl. I don't know how that's going to happen. They're both in the NFC. Okay, you need an AFC team in there. So why the 49ers there, Robert Thompson? Why the 49ers always get so damn lummy? Brock Purdy's an anomaly. Well, here's what I got to say about the Niners, bro. And I am an expert on the Niners because my entire family is Niner fans, bro. Okay, I'm the only member of my family who's not a Niner fan. I am the kid who went ahead and said, I want to be Darth Vader. I don't want to be Luke Skywalker. That's just how it was. Okay. Uh, the 49ers understand what they need to be successful. The San Francisco 49ers traditionally have had a good quarterback. It's like knowing what you do well and you stick to what you do well. Okay? The furthest I can go back with quarterbacks with the 49ers is John Brody. And I could barely remember. They've always had good quarterbacks, bro. They've had, John Brody's in the Hall of Fame. They had Y.A. Tittle, he's in the Hall of Fame. They had Hall of Fame quarterbacks before Joe Montana. They understand for their franchise, the quarterback is imperative, bro. It's imperative for the Niners to have a quarterback. They don't do what other teams do. We can just get somebody from here. We can just get one in free agency. No, dude. They do this. Okay? The Niners, when it comes to quarterbacks, they do this, bro. I just told you. Go look at 49er Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm just telling you off the top of my head, bro. I know Y.A. Tittle was their quarterback. He's in the Hall of Fame. I know John Brody's. He's in the Hall of Fame. I know Joe Montana. He's in the Hall of Fame. I know Steve Young. He's in the Hall of Fame, bro. That's 4 right there, dog. Okay? That's 4 right there. They don't play, bruh. So they don't wait for their quarterback to be obsolete. They don't do what my team does. My team, we just wait until we're tired of a quarterback, and then come on, bro. You wait till your shoes are run over and they got holes in the bottom, and then you go to Goodwill and go get another pair of shoes, bro. It's like, dude, why don't you just go buy a brand new pair of shoes? Nah, bro, I can just get some shoes. I just put some cardboard in these. And that's the difference. So you got to remember there was a time where the San Francisco 49ers had Jimmy Garoppolo, they had Brock Purdy, and they had Trey Lance. They had 3 quarterbacks. They drafted Trey Lance in the first round. Okay? I think he was the 2nd pick or 3rd pick. Niner fans, y'all don't want to act like, y'all don't want to claim Trey Lance as a bust. You don't want to do that. I haven't heard none of you guys. Y'all quick to talk about what other people's are bust, but you don't want to talk about Trey Lance being a bust, because he was. Y'all don't want to bring that up, but I'll bring it up. Okay? So they had all of those people at the same time. They didn't wait for somebody to get bad. They looked at Jimmy. They're like, Jimmy got to go. They drafted his replacement. He didn't do nothing. Okay? And what did the Raiders do? Come on, man, digging through somebody's garbage, digging the dumpster diving for quarterbacks, which is what we always do, picking up somebody else's trash. Okay, all right. It's like the Raiders when it comes to quarterback. They're like the homie that wants to date somebody's jump off, somebody's old work. Okay, you used to fool with Wanda last year. Now he's sneaking around with Wanda. You already know she's with Wanda because Wanda done told everybody. It's like, come on, bro, like. Is that what you got to do, dog? It's like, you just wait for me to dump my old jump-offs, and you just go and you just wipe them up. I mean, there's a lot of cats that I grew up that did that. They thought they're doing something to me. Yo, Shaq, you see that Quincy was with Quincy running around with Wanda, dog? Oh, that about Wanda, dog? I never claimed Wanda. I mean, damn. You don't really want me to get graphic about what I said. But if you know me, I really said something worse than that. Okay, you could probably imagine what I said. Okay, but with that being said, bro, Niners, they don't play that. They don't wait for the trash to start rotting, bro. They throw the trash out before it gets rotten. All right, so that's why it's not luck, it's skill. It's skill, bro. Okay, go back to the 90s when Joe Montana, they picked up Steve Young. And everybody was talking, why are they picking up Steve Young? Because they were already preparing for the Joe Montana to be obsolete. They already had his replacement just sitting there in the wings, holding a clipboard. And then they said, Joe, that's it, Joe. That's it for you. Joe's like, man, I'm 4-0 in the Super Bowl. I'm the whole GOAT. Well, you're not going to be the GOAT here. You better try to find another GOAT location. What did he do? He went over to Kansas City, came back to the Bay. I remember watching that game, man. Yeah, and he came back and cooked the Niners. Okay, so that's why, man. You got to give credit where credit is due. They drafted somebody you didn't want. You had seven rounds to draft Brock Purdy, and you looked at him because you couldn't evaluate it. You didn't know. Okay, you know, some guys can look at a girl and say, you know what, hey man, why you talk? She's just okay. Okay, well, then when she comes to the party, she let her hair down, she throw the makeup on, she pushed them stings together, dog. You get her, take her to go get her that dress, and you get her nail done. She walked in, you're like, wow, whoa. Man, that was old girl at the gas station. What? What, dog? Let's do that all the time. Oh, man, what do you mean that ain't her? That's the same one, dog, that you said she was just okay. Because you don't have the vision. You don't have the vision. Okay? And that's what it is, all right? Niners had that vision when it comes to quarterbacks. They do. And if you think it's going to stop with Brock Purdy, it isn't. As soon as a couple more years go by, they'll be drafting his replacement, and they're going to stay on a quarterback's neck. That's what they're going to do. What are you going to do? Just keep retreading and running around with somebody else's old girl. I mean, come on, bro. All right, man. Okay, straight up, man. Yeah, man, great X-Man, great game. Robert Thompson, man, it also doesn't hurt to have a wicked-ass play caller, too. Kyle Shanahan is the truth. Kyle Shanahan, and I was talking to my boy Ant Cuts about it last night because he was talking about Ben Johnson's play calling. And I said, yeah, man. He said, Ben Johnson's the best play caller in the league. I said, I think Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay would have something to say about that. Them dudes, the play calling is absolutely elite. Their play calling, bro. They come up with so many different things consistently. The problem with Kyle Shanahan is that Kyle Shanahan, when he gets into the big games, he doesn't take after his father, I should say. His father, Mike Shanahan. He probably takes after his mother because he gets in there and he forgets how to coach. That's his problem. He's a very great play caller, but he's blown 3 Super Bowls with leads. Okay? He's blown 3 Super Bowl halftime leads by double digits in a row. So, I don't know, Niners, you guys, you know, hey, maybe he'll be Andy Reid, and it'll take 2 or 3 times of him losing something before he wins. But I always say, man, he's the problem, though. He's a better offensive coordinator than a coach. All right, but he's a hell of a play caller. Okay, Robert Thompson said, I don't know, but I don't know how good we'd be in another system. Kyle Shanahan is an elite play caller. He is. Okay, but like I said before, a system player in the right system, that's not that person's fault. If I can evaluate somebody and say, you know, this person's perfect for this, and bring them over here and they succeed, you don't get to slander them because they're in the right system or in their right job. You don't get to say, well, you're only successful because you're here at this company. Yeah, we recruited them to be here. I mean, that's that right there is that's subjective. Okay, yeah, he's a great play caller, but he was a great play caller when Trey Lance was there. What happened? Kyle Shanahan was a great play caller when he had Jimmy Garoppolo. What happened? Nothing. He had to get the person that's going to fit his system. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing. Okay? You should be doing that with your significant other, bro. You should be trying to find somebody to fit into your system. That's what you should be doing. Instead of you trying to fit somebody who's not equipped to be in your system, which is your life, you go out and get somebody who looks the way you want them to look, dressed the way you want them to look, you know, the bed actions the way you want it. But when it comes to the functional parts, they don't fit, bruh. That's why she's was with your best friend Johnny and you didn't know. That's why you got caught slipping, because she didn't fit your program. All right? Same shit. 49ers don't have that problem. If you don't fit the Niners program as a quarterback, your ass is gone. They get rid of you. And they don't care where you go. I was like, man, y'all gonna really trade Trey Lance to the Cowboys? You're like, yeah, because we know Trey Lance he can go wherever. We just trying to get something for his ass. What happened? Trey Lance didn't make it in the Cowboys either. He didn't make it. So that's what's going on with that, man. Systems absolutely matter, but you have to be able to have a talent evaluation to find the proper people to be in a system. Every team has a system. Every team has a system, dog. Okay? There's 32 systems in the National Football League. The key is, do you have people in the proper systems in the right place? Do you have them where they need to be? Niners don't have that problem. Rams don't have that problem. Bills don't have that problem. Okay? Certain teams, they don't got that issue at all. All right? It's looking like Seattle don't have that problem. All right? So, at the end of the day, man, systems matter, but personnel matters more than systems. Okay? Egalitarian, what's going on, big dog? Okay, you seen him play extensively. Mendoza is a cool cucumber. He can make all the throws. I mean, but is he going to be in the right system, though? I mean, he can make all the throws if he has time. I mean, is he going to have time to throw the football? I'm willing to say no. Not based on right now. I don't see it. The line that we have is absolutely atrocious, man. You can throw the GOAT back there. You can throw Brady back there. Brady ain't going to do shit. The line's bad. You've done nothing to improve the line. You've drafted some people, but they didn't pan out. For every JPJ you got a DJ Glaze to go with it. Okay? You drafted JPJ, DJ Glaze. Then for every Parham you got an Alex Kappa. All right. Come on, dude. One dude isn't going to block everybody, man. You got one dude out there. Was he Incredible Hulk? What's he going to do? Block everybody at once? Come on, bro. For every one person you drafted on the line, the other ones are trash. For every free agent you brought in, the rest are trash. So Mendoza can be whatever he want to be, but he needs somebody to block for him or he's not going to be effective. He's going to be running for his life. Okay? Egalitarian, John Spytek, Brady, Pete Carroll will trade the first round pick. I've been trying to warn these Raider fans, okay? And we had a really good time roasting them. You want to have a real good laugh? Go to the post game of last night's Tank Bowl, okay? We covered the game and then we went on after, and I was comparing them. I was calling these team tankers, these guys that were actually running around, posting themselves, screaming and hollering when the Giants scored a touchdown. I was calling them Stripper Nation. What's the difference between a Raider fan, cheering for a first-round draft pick when you should be cheering for your own team, than an ugly stripper asking for $20 for a lap dance? Same shit. You're doing it for the money, okay? You really ain't supposed to be in here. You're too ugly to really be out here. But you're out here willing to do something strange for some change so you could pay rent. And guess what? That's what these fans are doing, the same shit. Ain't nothing different, dog. If you're willing to get oiled down and hosed down, pause, for a draft pick, bro, and go against your whole integrity, you ain't me, bro. Okay? I ain't never wanted nothing that bad. Ever. I don't care what it is. Hey, Shaq, is $1 billion, dog. All you got to do is lay down here for 5 minutes. I'll be like, nah, dog. Because if that's what it takes to be a billionaire, I'll never be one. I'll just be a millionaire and be straight. Multi-millionaire is good. But y'all willing to straight open it up. You're ready to get a pair of pliers and make it easy. Not me, bro. I have integrity. I got to look myself in the face, my wife in the face, and my son in the face. I'm never doing nothing strange for no change or no draft picks. I don't have to. 1, 2, 3. I got 3. I never had to spread eagle for nobody. But y'all got it. Okay? Y'all got it. Raider Nation's delusional, thinking that we will not trade back. Pete Carroll's notorious for trading back. But the key is Pete Carroll, based on what's being said, from what's the rumors, and when I hear rumors, I'm not paying attention to a content creator. I'm paying attention to what's being said by those beat writers that are at the in Las Vegas, man. I'm paying attention to what they're saying. They're saying that more than one owner wants to get this pick. They want a quarterback. So we'll see. But like I said before, you can't make Mendoza declare. He's a junior. He can easily say, I'm going to stay. I don't want to play for these dudes. Then what are you going to do? Dante Moore hasn't declared either. But we will be here on New Year's Day to see Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers play against Alabama. We'll be here, and we're gonna do a in-game analysis, and we're gonna see whether or not this kid can make something happen. Because if he can't light it up against Alabama, he ain't gonna do nothing against the pros. I'm being honest with you. So we'll see. Okay, I see too. You saying talent? Maurice Ross too. Space Monkey says too. Egg too. Rosetown Native, what's going on? King Ed, what's up, man? I got to give Caleb his props. His game last night was coming out game, man. Raiders get anything like him in 2026, we're good. Well, man, uh, you can go back a couple of years ago, actually 2 years ago, and you can hear me. I was jumping up and down for us to try to trade to get Caleb Williams. I wanted Caleb Williams because I'm a USC fan. I've been a USC fan longer than I've been a Raider fan. I've been a Raider fan since '74. I've been a USC fan since '73. So, hey man, fight on. But hey man, I told these dudes Caleb Williams. But like I said, man, anybody that's brash or anybody that any of these quarterbacks when they believe in themselves and they got a little bit of moxie to them or a little bit of arrogance to them, or which I like a healthy level of arrogance. There's nothing wrong with that, bro, as long as you back it up. Okay, you can say whatever you want as long as you can back that shit up. And I don't want that clown. Same thing with Shadur. Oh, these guys, man, don't want to do. Because he makes you feel inadequate, man. And a lot of these fans, man, they feel like they're in competition with somebody, dude. I don't care what the kid said. Can he ball or not? That's all I care about. Can he throw the pill? Can he elude somebody? Can he stop? Can he not be a statue back there getting sacked? Now Caleb is looking like, oh man, we should have drafted him. Nah, man, when things happen, that's when things happen, bro. When the iron's hot, that's when you iron the clothes, bro. Simple as that. Okay, you got to iron the clothes when the iron's is hot. You don't wait till the iron's cold to try to say, oh man, I should have ironed them. Too late. Okay, so Caleb Williams has been that way. The game has slowed down for him a lot. It would seem like it was fast for him last year, which is commendable. But shit, he was a rookie last year. Now look at him. Dude, spinning it everywhere. Some of them throws they were just phenomenal throws, bro. Just right where they're supposed to be. Okay? He's gonna be a problem. All right, man. Rosetown Raiders said can't make it up. Blaze one for the nation. Caleb Williams. Now me, I take Caleb. Here's the reason why. When I said I take Caleb, it has nothing against Brock Purdy. It just has to do with his age. Caleb Williams is younger. Brock Purdy's balling. Trust me. Now, if you give me a pick between Brock Purdy and Geno Smith, I think you pretty much know what I'll say. But Caleb Williams is younger than Brock Purdy. Caleb Williams is still playing under a rookie contract. See, I'm thinking about everything. Brock Purdy is a $50 million QB at this point. He's a big cap number. Caleb is in a second year of a rookie deal, bro. His budget is very team friendly. Very. He's not getting paid a lot. Okay? Not when it comes to the salary cap, bonuses, that type of thing. Yeah. But when it comes to that cap number, it's low. So for me, I'm taking Caleb. Because I got another year under a rookie deal with him. He'd be his third year. And then I could still build around him right now. I can use that extra money to get me some more pieces. He's got Swift. He's got a running game. He's got receivers. His tight ends let him down last night with dropping a lot of passes. His defense, they look formidable. He get a couple of extra little pieces. The Bears are going to be an issue. Okay? The Lions took a big step back. The Packers, will see if they're healthy. And there's really nothing else. The Vikings, we'll see what happens with them. Okay? So I'm taking Caleb, dog, just because of his age. All right? And his contract. All right, man. So, yeah, you got the same initials. I see it. Y'all said Purdy. Like, there's no wrong answer, y'all. Justin Sizzle was going on. Salute to the Goons. Blaze one for the nation. All depends on the players willing to develop and put the work in at the pro level. Well, that's the key. That's the key, bro. I mean, for every person that has done that, there's people that hasn't done it. Okay? You look at your boy Kyler Murray. You're perfect person to talk to about this, Justin Saw. As much as you said you take Kyler Murray right now, what was the biggest thing on Kyler Murray when he signed his contract for them to put in his contract that he had to watch tape? Because guess what he said? He said he didn't watch tape. What do you mean you don't watch tape, bro? Well, you just, if you're a damn welder, bro, you just put on the welding helmet and just start welding shit. You got a brand new welder and you ain't looking at it, you ain't reading the instructions. You just gonna wing it. Come on, bro. You're supposed to be able to know what the hell you're doing, dog. You know what I'm saying? Then you wonder why you burning up shit. Why you burning a hole in something. Oh, I didn't know it was that hot. Well, it says right on the instructions, man, don't keep it, 12 inches away. Why do you got it 3 inches away? Oh, man, I didn't read the manual. Come on, dog. They had to make that dude do his job, man, to watch tape and do what he needs to do. So, like I said before, bro, not everybody works hard. All right? Not everybody works hard. Mo Ross fan, my Steelers and Niners fan, and Cook buddies are Raider fans from old school. I got you. Niners have great coaching. And never bet against the Santa Clara 49ers. Hey, man, might be good. Might be good that you don't. Save some money. Okay? All right, man. It's all good. We're in here chilling. Mike Hurd, what's going on, Mike Hurd? What's happening? Get the likes up. King Ed, got a question for you. Put your GM hat on. Okay, I got it on. I got my Al Davis on. The potential free agent quarterback jumps to dive and bring in that season petition. I'm a fan of Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a good quarterback, but he's not a starter. He's not a starter, man. He's a good quarterback to have as a backup, but he's not a starter. Malik Willis has had opportunities, bro. He's had opportunities at multiple places. He's not a starter, man. He's like Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, man, he played well, for the Ravens, but he's not a starter. Gardner Minshew's not a starter. I mean, you got to stop it, bro. You got to stop it. It doesn't work for the Raiders. The Raiders are bringing in guys who aren't starters, bro. You're bringing in guys who ain't starters anymore. Is Geno a legitimate starter in NFL? Not anymore. Not anymore. Not as of now, he's not. I think a change of address, he could probably can get it back, but not with us. He can't. He can't. The Raider Nation is in his head, bro. When you're flipping off the fans, bro, the team you play for, it's obvious that there's something going on psychologically. That's a psychological situation with that one. So Malik Willis is not a starter, bro. Get me a starter, bro. And how many starters do you have rolling around? Why do you think the Colts went out and they called up Phillip Rivers? Phillip Rivers hadn't took an NFL snap in 4 years. Why you think they got him? Why you think a couple of years ago they brought back Joe Flacco after he hadn't played in a couple of years? Because there's not a bunch of viable starters. You're better off getting an old starter, a starter that's old, than getting somebody who's not a starter. Look at the people who's done it. Okay, I'm gonna say this again, bro. There's a guy who's rolling around right now, who isn't old, who's a former starter, that's available, and his name is Derek Carr. Oops. Don't want to bring that up, do we? Derek Carr's 10 years younger than Phillip Rivers. DC's 34, Phillip Rivers 44. You don't think Derek Carr can come in there and play? I'm willing to believe he can. But nobody wants to go there, do you? Like I said before, bro, anything but that, bro. Anything but the guy who ruined your situation from the beginning. Okay? All right, man. I'm a Niners fan, and Purdy was drafted at a bad team like Caleb was. Purdy would be a backup right now. Purdy was drafted with a Super Bowl ready team. Well, that may be true. But the fact that he was drafted, though, that's the key. The key is Purdy won the lottery. Somebody got to win, bro. Somebody got to win. Yeah, Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is expected to be able to play for every team because he was the first pick. Purdy is the person who shouldn't be in this conversation. Okay, it's like that old. Some of y'all may not remember this, but some of y'all will. Okay, Sesame Street. You had all these kids. One of these kids is doing his own thing. One of these kids are one and the same. We got three kids, and they all doing the same shit. They're hopscotching, and one kid's jumping up on the jump rope. And you're supposed to be able to discern that the one that's jumping on the jump rope is doing his own thing. So Brock Purdy's doing his own thing. There's nobody in the National Football League that's doing what Brock Purdy doing. Somebody who has no business being in the position that he is, throwing 10 touchdown passes in 2 games. There is nobody in the league that's him doing what he's doing. Plus, he shouldn't be doing it anyway. If you were told, and you look at it this way, if you were told and you didn't have the knowledge, like a lot of these casuals, say, hey, man, Name a quarterback. There was a quarterback in the last 2 games that's threw 10 touchdown passes. Who do you think it was? They ain't gonna say Brock Purdy. First thing they're gonna say is Josh Allen. That's the first person they're gonna say. No, it wasn't him. Aaron Rodgers. No, it wasn't him. Okay. Patrick Mahomes. No, it wasn't him. You wouldn't even get the Brock Purdy, bro, unless you knew that. Because you're saying, man, Brock Purdy didn't throw no 10 touchdown passes in 2 weeks. He did, though. That's the point. Guy, Vegetarian. The Raiders can't clearly explain how to make quarterback Ashton Genty's life easier. The draft failed. Like I said before, man, you need to talk to those people that were actually cheering when Jackson Dart scored. They're running around cheering. I'm like, wow, dog. Like, I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. But there's a lot of them, dog. They really, really think that they eating right now, bro. I'm like, okay. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I don't know. I'm not into mediocrity, bro. Like, nothing to cheer about. Better nail that pick. I know that. Okay. All right, man. Okay, straight up. I see you. Vegetarian was saying hire Shane Waldron. I mean, a significant influence. Organization does not want to force a quarterback decision. Brock Bowers will be used conservatively. I mean, it's official that the Raiders are corporate. The Raiders are so corporate, you don't even know who's running the team. You know who you think is running it. But do you really know? I mean, some people say Spytek is calling the shots. I don't think Spytek's calling the shots. I think Pete's calling the shots. But then again, maybe these new owners that you can't even name are calling the shots. These John Carroll College guys. I don't know. You have no idea who's running your team right now. Okay? You have no idea. All right? So who knows what will happen? All right, man. All right, man. Yeah, trade the pick for Shadur in the 6th pick. It's too late, man. Why would you trade a pick for Shadur? You already had an opportunity to get Shadur. Don't you think that the Raiders didn't want Shadur Sanders? Why do you think they would want him now? You could have got Shadur Sanders for, a bologna and cheese sandwich, bro. Okay, with extra Miracle Whip on it. Pause. You could have did that. You passed on him 7 times. Why would you trade for him now? You don't want the Raiders don't want Shadur Sanders. They never wanted him. They don't even want him now. Unless he's going to be a free agent, he walks through the door for free. They're not going to trade for him. Okay. Vegetarian, I like to look for talent. Doesn't matter the pick number and pick the person. Quarterback, you never know who's there, good or bad. Fredo Raider, it was good, Shaq. We could have traded for Caleb Stott or Duke Daniels. Can't make it up. Now we're going to draft Mendoza or more, one of the weakest draft classes. Well, man, the opportunities come when they come up, dog. Like, you have to be able to know. You got to be able to, know when it's time to make that move, bro. Sometimes you got to know when it's time to move. Sometimes you got to know when it's time to leave. Sometimes you got to know when it's time to step up. Like, when you don't have the feel, you don't have a feel for it. Raiders don't have a feel for the draft at all, bro. That's why every time we do something, we just nail 1 pick. You get 7 picks, and you only nail 1. You're lucky if you nail 2. You ain't killing the draft, bro. Tell me when the Raiders have killed the draft where it's like, man, we nailed 5 or 6 dudes. Nah. Pause. Okay? Nah. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Mendoza ain't even declared yet. Like I said before, you guys are going to be in shambles if he says I'm going to go ahead and stay for my 4th year. You can't even use the money for the NFL as leverage anymore because a lot of people say, oh, well, man, he needs the money. Man, the NIL deals made that obsolete. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, bro. He could stay in college, man. He's already a multimillionaire. He could stay in college with an NIL deal and probably make more in his rookie deal than he would make on a rookie contract. Go outside of his signing bonus and stay another year, man, and jump into the draft next year if he doesn't want to play for you. And if that happens, I'm going to laugh, dog, because you're going to have a first-round pick. You ain't going to have nobody that wants to play for you. Okay? You're still the Raiders, bro. Don't act like you're not. All right? Can't perfect. Brady has made it clear he wants nothing to do with Shadur. I agree. I absolutely agree on that. I agree. Let's see what Brady's going to do. Let's see what Brady has done so far. I told you Brady wasn't here to do anything. Told you guys that. Told y'all, man, Tom Brady wasn't going to do nothing. Told you he was just there as an investor. That's all he is. He's just an investor, bro. He's a high-profile investor at this point. All right, man. E-Trizzle. What's going on, E-Trip? E-Trip in the building. What's going on, E-Trip? My boy, E-Trizzle. What's going on, big dog? Okay, yeah, man. Like I said, DC. I mean, DC's available. All right, man. King Ed. T. Brady owns Pete Carroll's Super Bowl for passing inside the 10-yard line instead of feeding him at the beast, man. Tom Brady gets the bragging rights at 7th ring. Well, man, that was dumb. That was dumb, man. I thought that was stupid, man. Pete Carroll's also my coach from USC, but Marshawn Lynch is from the town business. You didn't want to give a real Oakland cat the ball, you lose. Simple as that, man. If you remember the game, who got him down there at the 1-yard line the whole drive? They gave it to Marshawn. They were like the 15. Marshawn ran it down to like the 7. They gave it to Marshawn again. He ran from the 7 to the 1st. What were you supposed to do? Give it to Marshawn again, and you didn't. You wanted Russell Wilson to be the MVP. You wanted to try to augment it. You should have gave the ball to Marshawn, and you didn't. And guess what? You threw the ball to the wrong cat. Game over. Okay. All right, man. King S says, I need Brady the war room, man. I mean, he could be in the war room, but it don't mean nothing. Okay. E Quizzlewham's going on, man. Black Steel draft picks do matter, but you have to have a competent staff who put players fit the scheme. That's what the system is. You have that bad coaching. Well, like I said before, dog, it all depends on whether or not. I mean, you can have great people in the room, but if everybody doesn't have a collective vote, don't mean anything. Somebody has a defining vote. You can have the whole draft room. You could have the whole draft room saying, don't draft Mendoza, draft Dante Moore. And the person who's a shot caller says, no, I'm drafting him, and that's it. I mean, do you have a real consortium in there? Okay? Black Steel, you got to have a consortium in that room. All right? I'll tell you a perfect example of this, man. Al Davis. Okay? 1982 draft. Everybody was telling him to draft Marcus Allen. Everybody saying draft Marcus Allen, man. Al didn't want to draft Marcus Allen because he said that Marcus Allen wasn't fast enough. He said he was too slow. He didn't have breakaway speed. Everybody said draft him. We need to draft him. Okay? He didn't want to draft him. So he's in the draft room. Everybody saying, Al, we have to draft Marcus Allen. He didn't want to deal with Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen was a bigger star than him. They played in the same stadium, LA Memorial. Marcus was the man in LA. Marcus Allen was knocking down everything, every fine starlet in the damn game. He was him. Heisman Trophy winner, player of the year, movie star looks, knocking every celebrity girl down he could. And Al couldn't compete with that because Al was supposed to be him. And Al Davis, they just said, Al, we have to draft him, man. What are we doing? You know what Al said? Draft him then. The hell with it. And left. Al just said, hey, man, you want to draft him? Draft him. And he walked out. What did the Raiders do? Raptors drafted him. Did it work? Yeah. Yeah, it worked. Okay? But it didn't work in 2007, when everybody was saying, draft Megatron, draft Calvin Johnson, draft the wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, draft him, and Al said, nah, I'm drafting the fat slobbery quarterback, Jabba the Hutt from LSU. Didn't work that time. Guess what? The old man got it wrong, yo. He got it wrong. So what can we say, bro? So it doesn't matter who's in the draft room if they're not listening to anybody. Thank God Al got frustrated and left, and somebody who knew what they were doing on that pick drafted the right guy. But when it came down to that again, Al was like, I ain't doing that again. I'm drafting who I want. And he did, and it didn't work. Okay? It is what it is. Okay, Xavier Carter, they have Brock, but what happened to Trey Lance? Yeah, they don't want to talk about the Trey Lance shit. The Trey Lance is a bust too, but they don't want to bring that up. They never bring up the Trey Lance shit. Okay. Egalitarian, I can see Pete Carroll trading back. Yeah. Draft Reuben Kane Jr. I mean, there's a lot of people that they could draft back. Like I said, man. Some people say that Mendoza isn't even the first pick. A lot of people don't agree that Mendoza, that's a reach. A lot of people say that he's a late first. If maybe a second, may not even be a first pick. But like I said before, man, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, bro. Okay, I done had plenty of friends that really thought their girl was that fine, and she wasn't. All right, man, you already know. Yeah, Reuben Bain. I got you. All right. So yeah, you guys, man. I think that talent evaluation is more important than a draft pick. But if you got them both, then you got them both. You do it right, you draft a C.J. Stroud. You do it right, you draft a Caleb Williams. You do it right, you draft a Jaden Daniels. You do it right, you draft a Andrew Luck. You do it wrong, you draft a Jamarcus Russell. You do it wrong, you draft a Ryan Leaf. Okay. You do it wrong, you draft an Akili Smith. Ain't that right, Mike Hurd? Okay. I think a high draft pick with proper intel and proper scouting is the best bet. But if I had a choice, I'd rather have great scouting. You gotta nail the first pick, man. You don't get the whiff on the first pick. Okay. What's going on, P? So you getting ready to rewatch this tonight? Yeah, you can rewatch it tonight, P. Rewatch it tonight. I just wanted to come in because I thought that it was interesting that the last pick of the NFL draft 3 years ago and the first pick of the NFL draft 2 years ago went head to head. Both ends of the spectrum, dog. From the rooter to the tutor. And the tutor beat the rooter. Okay? So what does it mean? It means that, hey, maybe the first pick in the draft ain't all what it's cracked up to be. It's still decision making. Simple as that. Okay? All right. So yeah, man. So that's what's going on with me, man. I'm just here so I don't get fined. What time is it right now? Oh, it's still 4:28. We're good right now. So yeah, man. I thought last night's game was phenomenal, bro. I'm so glad that I was just able to just lay on the couch, man, like y'all, man. I don't get a chance to do that hardly. I'm covering the game, or got people calling me. Well, of course, people still calling me during the game, but at least I got to sit back and relax. I really enjoyed myself last. That was a really good ass game, dog. It was back and forth. I'm like, man, this is good. Okay, and I didn't have to report and read and comment and do all of that. So tonight I'm gonna do the same shit. I expect the Rams to bounce back, but they're in a free fall right now. All right. Okay, look at Darius Haywood-Bay, man. When everyone was taking Michael Crabtree, I wanted to break my damn TV. Oh, yeah, I wanted Crabtree. But like I said before, when you got a type, that's Black Steel, that whole thing about Darius Haywood-Bay was a type. He's fast. Okay, and if you look at Al's pedigree when it comes to wide receivers, our wide receiver situation is like the 49ers when it comes to, okay. With the 49ers, I just explained how the 49ers, their MO is getting quarterbacks. Our MO is wide receivers. Okay? Just like I said, the 49ers have had 4, maybe more. I don't know if Frankie Albert's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he is. But I know that the 49ers have at least 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that played for them. Okay? The Raiders, look at how many Hall of Fame wide receivers that we've had. For us, wide receivers are our thing. Okay? Biletnikoff, Hall of Fame. Branch, Hall of Fame. Tim Brown, Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice, Hall of Fame. That's 4 right there. If you want to talk about our tight end, Dave Casper, Hall of Fame. Like, our receiving core, that's us getting receivers. Okay? And then you talk about the guys that didn't make the Hall of Fame, but they were very good. My boy Willie Gault, my friend Willie. Okay? Very good. Wide receiver. James Jett, very good. Wide receiver. Okay? We eventually got Crabtree. Okay? There's a lot of wide receivers that were great for us that didn't make the Hall of Fame, but they were good. Warren Wells, somebody who was before my time that I heard a lot about. Raymond Chester, who salute to Mr. Chester, who talked to us on after was on this show. Did an interview with him, man, one of the greatest Raider tight ends of all time. Okay, so with Darius Haywood-Bay, he did what he always does. Speed kills. He thought he was gonna get another Cliff Branch. Okay, he didn't get another Cliff Branch. He got a jump off the cliff with no branch. That's what he got. Okay, so we're always gonna have wide receivers, bro. We're always gonna have somebody catching the football. I mean, even now, who's the best tight end in football, man, when healthy? Brock Bowers. Okay, even Travis Kelce says that. But we don't value the quarterback position enough to give a viable pass to catch. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. Yeah, Patrice, that game was lit last night, man. What a good ass game. I'm so glad I got a chance to relax and enjoy it. Derek Garcia, Crabtree family was relieved we didn't pick him. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, we went to the 49ers and he was getting cooked over there, man. That was back when the Legion of Boom was running shit. Richard Sherman was having his way with him, dog. Okay. Of course, I remember Jacoby Ford. Jacoby Ford was he was a north-south runner, fast as shit. Okay, not elusive, just fast. It's like, hey man, he got a seam, his barbecue chicken. Okay, you know, but yeah, man, wide receivers for us is like quarterbacks for the Niners. I mean, we had Devontae Adams. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame whether you like him or not. Okay, Hunter Renfrow, somebody who had 100 catches. Okay, so wide receivers is not a problem for us. I like Jack Besh. Seemed like Dante Thornton was got a little bit of a sighting last night. Michael Mayer had a lot of catches, but until we value the quarterback position and have a little bit more respect for the quarterback position, yeah, Willie Gault's I mentioned Willie Gault. That's my dog. Okay. So outside of that, man, I mean, we've had some great receivers. But we've had Hall of Fame receivers out his name. We've had like four Hall of Fame wide receivers and one Hall of Fame tight end. Okay, that goes to show you where our value was. Oh, well, matter of fact, we had more than that. We had 6. Don't forget Randy Moss. Randy Moss played for the Raiders too. Is he in the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Okay, Randy Moss. Don't forget about Moss, man. Moss is a Hall of Famer. He played for the Raiders too. Okay? So, like I said before, all right. Swerving Mervin Fernandez. Yeah, man, his birthday today, man. Mervin Hernandez's birthday today, man. I follow him on Facebook, man. Salute and happy birthday to Mervin Fernandez. I mean, that whole team, bro. I remember, I talked to Willie about it, man. About they had the track team, bro. They legitimately had a team that could run a 4x4 100 meters back in the 90s, bro. It was Willie Gault, James Jett, Sam Grady. They had speed. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, we had another Hall of Fame wide receiver. So that's going to make it 7. His name is James Lofton. Let's not forget James Lofton played for the Raiders. That's 7 Hall of Fame wide receivers, bro. That's 7 of them. Okay? Not counting the ones that were good. I mean, gold jackets, bruh. Okay? I said Jerry Rice. You're a little late. I said Jerry Rice. Okay? You want me to name them again? Prepolitnikov. Cliff Branch. Jerry Rice. Tim Brown. Randy Moss. James Lofton. It's all gold jackets, bro. That's 6 right there. That's not counting my tight end, Dave Casper. That's 7. He's in the Hall. Devontae Adams is going in the Hall of Fame. That'll be 8. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer when he came. I know y'all don't like him, but don't matter. He's going to be in the Hall. That's going to be 8. So when it comes to wide receivers and the Raiders, that's what they did. But the problem is, look at the quarterbacks. You only have how many quarterbacks do the Raiders have in the Hall of Fame? Just off the top of my head. 2. Stabler, George Blanda. That's it. George Blanda was a kicker quarterback. That's it. Who else? What other Hall of Fame quarterbacks have the Raiders had? You've only had 2, bro. 2 with gold jackets. That's it. As much as you guys, y'all straight ride on Gannon's entire sack. He ain't in the Hall. Jim Plunkett should be in the Hall. He ain't in the Hall. Wait a minute. Well, but he didn't get in as a Hall of Famer for quarterback, but Tom Flores is in the Hall of Fame. He played quarterback for us, but he got in as a coach. He didn't get in as a quarterback. You have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in 65 years of football. 2. And then you wonder why you don't win. Jim's not in. Jim Plunkett's not in the Hall of Fame. He needs to be in, but he didn't get it. You have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, bro. And one of them was a backup quarterback. He wasn't even a starter, really. Landa started a few games. Snake. And he got in after he passed away. Same with Branch, same with a whole bunch of other dudes. You've only had one legitimate starting quarterback for your team to be in the Hall of Fame. And he got railroaded for years until he passed away, and then they put him in. So then you wonder why you don't, when I say that the Raiders don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks and evaluate talent, it doesn't take 65 years to have more than one quarterback starter in the Hall of Fame, bro, when you've had 7 Hall of Fame wide receivers by yourself. The same franchise has had 7 Hall of Fame wide receivers, but one legitimate starting quarterback in the Hall of Fame. What does that tell you, man? What does that tell you? That tells you that the Raiders don't know what they're doing when it comes to quarterbacks. That's what it tells you. And the only time that you had Hall of Fame wide receivers and a Hall of Fame quarterback in the lineup was the 76 Raiders that went 13-1. That's it. Both of your wide receivers were in the Hall of Fame, your quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, and your tight ends in the Hall of Fame. That's why you won. The other ones, you had a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Cliff Branch, but you didn't have Hall of Fame quarterback in Jim Plunkett. Even though he's 2-0 and should be in, he's not. That's why you Raiders don't win anything. And nobody else is going to be able to tell you that because they weren't around enough to know that. So we'll see, man. For you guys really putting your hope into a quarterback that has not even declared for the draft yet. Hey, man, I hope it works out for y'all, man. I hope you Las Vegas Raider fans can finally get yourself where y'all need to be. And when that happens, man, just make sure you mail my ring because I'm still a member of this fan base. So whatever you get, I get. All right. Okay. Lester Hayes and Jim Plunkett need to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, man. When we had the Raider alumni on the show, man, go back to that Dallas Cowboy post game, and you'll see these Raiders that were on it. They were talking about we need to come together and form Voltron to try to get some of these players in the Hall of Fame. I told I told them, man, there's a lot of players that should be in the Hall of Fame, man, but unfortunately, man, they have to pass away to get in the Hall of Fame. I told Raymond Chester, I said, Mr. Chester, you're a Hall of Famer. And he agreed. I said, you're not just in because you play for us. All right. Why didn't Al just value the position? Al valued the position, but Al, he was very fortunate in not having to draft a quarterback. He didn't really believe in drafting quarterbacks, and he was successful not drafting a quarterback. Okay, he was successful at it. Let's look at it this way. I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to tell you. The all-time greatest quarterback in the history of the Raiders is Ken Stabler. I mean, you should know that. But do you know that Ken Stabler was a second-round draft pick and sat on the bench for 3 or 4 years before he started? Plunkett was riding the bench for years. I mean, not Plunkett, excuse me. Stabler. He didn't start. He was behind Daryl LaMonica for years, bro. He didn't start until 72. He'd already been in the league almost 4 years already. Imagine that, bro. Your greatest quarterback didn't even start until he was in his 4th year. 4th. Your other quarterback, who was drafted first in the draft, another first-round quarterback, Jim Plunkett, from my neighborhood, okay, was drafted number 1 in 1971 by the Patriots, was a starter, came to the 49ers, played decently well for a while until they brought in Steve DeBerg and he took his job and he was on the bench, and then they waived him. And due to the fact that he's a Bay Area native like me, okay, went to James Lick High School, went to Stanford. Al Davis had been watching him his entire career, picked him up off of waivers for free, and proceeded to win us 2 more Super Bowls. Al was like, man, I know how to pick a quarterback without even drafting. He didn't have to draft him. He drafted Stabler, hella low. Blanda was free agent. Darryl LaMonica wasn't drafted by us. He's one of our greatest quarterbacks. So he believed in picking up a veteran quarterback. He didn't believe in having rookie quarterbacks and doing all of that. He thought it was a waste of time. Shit worked all over until Plunkett. After that, it didn't work no more. All right. BDQ. Yeah, the right side of O-line is in the Hall of Fame, too. You don't want to talk about the O-line. I didn't want to get into that part. I didn't even get in that. Okay. My first Super Bowl 11, man, I had out of 11 players, I had 7 or 8 of them were all in the Hall of Fame, including my punter on special teams. So every side of the ball that I had a Hall of Famer on that team. Let's name them real quick, man, since I ain't got nothing better to do. Okay? I had my guard and my tackle, Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, Hall of Fame. Stabler, Hall of Fame. Branch, Hall of Fame. Casper, Hall of Fame. Bolitnikoff, Hall of Fame. That's 6 on offense. There's 11 players on offense. 6 of them are in the Hall. They were on the field at the same time. Then when it was time to punt, the only punter in the Hall of Fame is a Raider by the name of Ray Guy. Coop? That's 7. I haven't even got to defense yet. I didn't even get to the people who should be in the Hall of Fame. Like that entire Soul Patrol should be in the Hall of Fame. Okay? George Atkinson should be in the Hall of Fame just for what he used to do to the Steelers and making them call the police and file a police report for hitting them too hard. Jack Tatum, say no more. Old Man Willie, the original 24, Hall of Fame. Okay? Ted Mad Stork Hendricks, Hall of Fame. I mean, we had hella Hall of Famers, bro. I mean, come on, dog. That's all we did. How do you have 8 or 9 Hall of Famers on your team at once, including the punter, bro? Come on, bro. That's where I come from. That's why I don't, this tanking on, they don't, like these guys, man, they don't even understand, bro, because they didn't experience, bro. They didn't grow up like that. They didn't grow up the way I grew up. They didn't grow up knowing that we were the best. They don't even have that idea. They think that they have to spread eagle to get some shit. That's what they're gonna do. Patrick Torres in the house. What's going on? Do you think of Diego Pereira from Vanderbilt? He's cool. He's a good quarterback, man. He's good. He's a good quarterback, man. I think our problem is we don't know who's gonna be our coach, man. I mean, how do you expect the quarterback to succeed when you don't even know the system? Right now, the offense that we're running right now is Chip Kelly's. Everything that we run right now is Chip Kelly's. The terminology is Chip Kelly. The personnel groupings, Chip Kelly. The blocking schemes is Chip Kelly. Everything's Chip Kelly, bro. The cadence, everything. Okay. What's going to happen next year? We're going to have a whole new system. Who's going to be our offensive coordinator next year? You don't even know what kind of system you have. Is it going to be Greg Olson? Are you going to let him run it back? Are you going to go get somebody else? Is Pete Carroll going to even be the coach? Like, there's too many up in the airs, man. So how do you expect a quarterback to come in and have a fair chance when we don't even know if we're going to be starting from scratch again? And based on what's being said, looks like Pete going to be out from what people are saying, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. So, I mean, any of these guys, okay? Any of these guys could probably be him, but we don't have a system. Zeus said, what about Todd Marinovich? Why didn't he pan everything was lined up for him to be the chosen one? Because he's Todd Marinovich. And he was a first 10 pick too. He too busy getting high, bro. He was Jamarcus Russell before Jamarcus Russell. Okay, an addict's an addict. Okay, I don't care how much you sticky icky smokers. You don't get to say, oh man, it comes from the earth when your whole job is affected. You know, shit, man. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed if you're gonna do your job. But if weed is stopping you from doing your job, then it's a problem. It's like anything else, bro. If you're a sex addict and you spending too much time trying to go to a Shooby Dooby's house instead of going to work, that's a problem. Oh man, nothing wrong with being a freak. That's what people that defend Diddy. Oh man, he's not a Rico, he's a freako. I agree, he's a freako. Wasn't no Rico involved, but when it starts putting yourself where you can go to jail for it, you got a problem, dog. Should have just kept it under key. You should have took it too far. So it's the same thing. Tom Maravich, he should have been a lot better than he was, but he wanted to do what he's doing. He wanted to smoke weed and be a surfer. What did he become? A weed smoking surfer. He did exactly what now he's passionate. He's doing something that he's very good at, being a weed smoking surfer, but he wasn't good at being a quarterback. That's the problem. I needed for him to be a quarterback. I didn't need for him to be what he was. But then again, what was up with Trey Lance? Trey Lance didn't have no problems. Trey Lance didn't have no drug problems. Trey Lance, what happened with you drafting? We didn't draft Todd Marinovich as high as you drafted Trey Lance. You drafted Trey Lance number 2. You can't say he's not a bust because he is. Y'all don't want to talk about that though. Okay. When Sebastian Janikowski getting in? I don't think he's getting in. I don't think Seabass is getting in. Okay, there is such thing as cannabis addict. You said there's no such thing as a cannabis addict, man. Todd Marinovich did other drugs. Hey, man, you can say what you want to say, bro. People have ruined much as you guys want to defend weed smoking, that's for you guys to do. Anything that prevents you from doing your job is an addiction. I don't care whether or not you think it's harmless or not. It is. Go ask Ricky Williams. Go ask Ricky Williams. He didn't do hard drugs. I know y'all really want to stand on this square, but Ricky Williams didn't do drugs. He just liked weed. And guess what he did? He quit playing football to smoke weed. Come on, bro. Don't start with me, man. Don't try it, bro. Cut it out. Stop it. Okay. Patrick Torres says, what would you do with the number 1 pick, Mendoza or Pavia? Or do you trade for draft capital? Me personally, I trade it. That's what I do. Because we have too many needs, man. I don't need to have somebody that I can just parade around for nothing. Like, I'm trading it. I probably could still under my guys, I'd probably still get Mendoza or get somebody good. Because I'm trading back so I can get more picks. I need more. I got too many needs. I'm trading back, bro. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, man, I'm taking that trade pick because there's too many. It's not a quarterback heavy draft anyway. Okay. There's no definitive number 1 pick. So for me, I'm trading back, bro. I need to move back a little bit. Not move back too far. Maybe move back a couple of picks. Get me an extra first or some shit. Okay, look, if somebody who wants a quarterback, y'all want this first pick, hey, man, are you in the top 4 or 5 picks? I trade back. You have my first, I take your 4th, and then I take your 2nd. So then guess what I get? I still get what I need. I get the first pick. I move back a little bit, and then I get 2 second-round picks. Like, I got to do what I got to do, man. You got to be a hustler out here in these NFL streets. Y'all don't want to be hustlers. Y'all just want somebody to give you something. Okay. All right, man. Okay. Hey, it doesn't matter if it's healthier than football. Football was legal at the time, and cannabis was not legal at the time. That's the problem. Tell the piss test that, egalitarian. Tell the piss test that. Don't tell me that. Tell the piss test back then. Now it's not a problem. But back then, yeah, that was a offense that you can get suspended for. Sorry, bro. I know you're trying hard because you really love your weed, which is cool, but I'm right. Okay? Sorry, bro. I'm right. You say what's safe, what ain't safe. Okay? All right, man. Say Josh Gordon. Who's Josh Gordon? Who's Josh Gordon? What are you talking about? You're not talking about somebody who's in the Hall of Fame. You're not talking about nobody who's in the Hall of Fame. You're talking about somebody who you like. Tell me a Hall of Famer who did it. I'll wait. I don't care if you disagree with me or not. I'm saying the facts. You can't prove yours, and I can prove mine. You can have your opinion all you want to. You can disagree with me all you want to, but somebody's correct. And you don't have to agree, but it's a fact that you can't name nobody. You can't name nobody to fit the criteria. You can't find nobody, bro. You're talking about guys who are just okay. I'm talking about the elite of the elite. You can't find nobody, bro. There's nobody. Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson. Now you go to music and do it all day. Snoop, Willie Nelson, yeah. We're talking about professional sports. Name them, dog. Who was a person who was outside saying it. You can't name nobody. Michael Phelps. Okay, you had to do that. You had to go all the way over there. What happened to football? Usain Bolt. All these guys are all Olympians, bro. They're all Olympians, and when they were doing it, they weren't taking it at that time. Name an NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. You can't. You can't. That's why you jumped all the way to the Olympics. Now, what are we going to do now? We're going to go to women's figure skating next. Egalitarian's going to go to women figure skating next. Christy Yamaguchi, bro. Christy Yamaguchi smoked too. I met Christy Yamaguchi, very nice young lady, as a matter of fact. You secretly, no, no. Who can you name, bruh? Okay, who can you name that is on record during their heyday who got tested for it and got caught? You can't name them, dog, because they don't exist. Nah, doc, it's not working. You're trying too hard, bro. You're trying too hard. It's not working. Everybody on here is looking at you like, okay, bro. What did you do? Did you open up another window and just put it in Gemini? Siri, name players that are come on, bro. All right, man, I'm not arguing with you, dog. I'm right, and that's it. Okay, it's right. All right. I'm talking about somebody who's openly, I smoke weed. What you gonna do? There's nobody. There's nobody, bro. There's not one player. And they told you after their career. They didn't tell you that when they were doing it, dog. They didn't go out there and fry the freak flag, bro. They weren't running around being loud, dog. Nah, there's nobody you can name. Not one player can you name at all. That's why I know I'm right. But I just told you Snoop didn't have to. Willie Nelson didn't have to. Okay? Everybody, secretly doesn't count, bro. It doesn't count, dog. It don't count. Diddy was secretly doing what he was doing too. Until what? Until it came out. Like I said, what you do in the dark don't count, bro. I'm done talking to you, dog. Keep trying, all right? Keep trying. Like I said before, I'm right. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to move on. Okay? Ricky Williams is not making a Hall of Fame. What are you talking about? You really think Ricky Williams is making the NFL Hall of Fame? Yeah, man, y'all really smoking some good shit, man. I think y'all smoking Sherm. Okay, I don't think y'all smoking the weed. Weed don't make you as crazy as y'all make. Y'all on that Shermology. Okay, y'all definitely on them Sherm. Y'all definitely putting some white powder in the front. They like this, bro. They're packing they shit like this. Y'all on that Krizak. Y'all on that cooking fumes. Y'all on them cooking fumes and shit. Come on, bruh. Come on, man. I know it really, really bothers you that I'm right. Okay, I know it does, but nothing you can do. Miami taking offers for first and second for the first. You taking it? Sure. I don't care about the first pick. The first pick doesn't mean anything to me. As a Raider fan, if I look at my first picks, what did I get? I didn't get anything for a first pick. My best players, I've never had a first pick in a draft be anything other than a bust. Raiders we were never in position to be in the first pick. We were always good enough where we weren't a first pick. So, I mean, this right here is going to be absolutely ridiculous. This is probably the second time. Well, it hasn't even happened yet. We haven't even secured it yet. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Reid lets us win just so we don't get the first pick. I'd be crying laughing. It's 80% that you're getting it. You don't even have it yet. You've already been oiled down and spread open. Okay? KY jellied opened up and you still don't have it. Okay? All right, man. Okay. Patrick Torres, any drugs found problem with you an athlete, somebody get banned, so I agree, Shaq, there's no openly athletes. Like I said, everybody that said what they did was after the fact, but they weren't gangster enough to say that why they were doing it because they wouldn't have been playing. Everybody's sneaky weaky. I mean, everybody's sneaky. I'm talking about somebody out in the open, bro. Somebody out in the open who did it. There's no way you can do it because it wasn't. Now it's legal. I mean, it's not even legal. It's just they don't test for it. Okay. I'm already done with you guys. I've already cooked you guys. You guys are already in the incinerary. I've already incinerated you guys already, bro. I don't have to keep reading anything you say. I destroyed you guys 5-10 minutes ago. Now you guys are looking on. You guys are looking on Google. You're trying to find other people. It's too late. You already lost, bro. Okay, the club's closed, bro. You don't get to come in and say, hey, I finally found $20. I can get in. Okay, too late, bro. When it was time to pay, you didn't have the money. The club's closed. Okay, everybody's at the next destination. It's too late. Okay, there is no going back. All right. Okay. All right. I'm done. Nothing else to talk about it. All right. Okay. So that's pretty much it, man. Like I said before, man, you got to do things in real time. When you try to challenge me, you can't pause and come back 5-10 minutes later. I'm cooking you now. The gas is on. The skillet's hot. I threw your asses in there. I fried y'all up. I served y'all. I threw some coleslaw on the side, and y'all cooked. Now you don't get to come back later and try to uncook yourself. It's too late. It's already over, bro. Okay? You'll come back tomorrow. You're gonna come back. They're gonna come back with a dot matrix list. Okay? On their grandmother's printout. You remember the ones? Tear the sides and shit. Perforated on the side. All right, Shaq, what about, man? I'm not here to do that, dog. I cook in real time, dog. I don't need Google to help me cook, y'all. I got y'all axes, okay? Axes. Bam, I already got y'all. So that's it, man. I'm going to go inside, man, watch this game. But, yeah, man, love all y'all, man. Okay, but, yeah, man, at the end of the day, man, I think that having intel and being a great evaluator of talent is better than a pick. Because you can't be a bust if you're not a first-round pick. If you're not a first-round pick, you can't be a bust. That's what people don't get. You don't get to say Shadur Sanders is a bust when he got drafted in the 5th round. You don't get to say any of these dudes that's drafted in the 2nd through the 7th, you're only a bust if he's drafted in the 1st round. Ain't that right, Damon Arnett? Ain't that right, Henry Ruggs? He is a bust. 1 year doesn't make you successful. Ain't you right, Cleveland Farrell? Ain't you right, Alex Leatherwood? You see, I'm gonna hit you where it hurts at. Ain't that right, Jonathan Abram? Yeah, those 1st-round picks, that's when you become a bust. Ain't that right, Trey Lance? Don't think we forgot about you, bro. You fail in the 1st round, you're a bust. You fail in the 2nd through 7th, Tim Couch, you're not. And like I said before, man, you better nail this pick. Because 3 years from now, if Mendoza's out of the league and he becomes a Johnny Manziel, I'm going to straight do what I just did to you guys a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to put you in the hibachi grill and throw some hot sauce and some soy sauce on your ass. Matthew Shackelford.